Hi everyone, I'm going to show you how to make the most out of the Cambridgelms platform. On this video I'm going to show you how to set up a new course, and I'm going to show you the progress I've achieved with my Basic 1 class. Since I'm teaching a Basic 2 class, this is what I'm supposed to do. So you're going to get this code from the administrator, and after you click here, the idea is that we go over the contents. So we have to prepare things for our students. Here in the contents, we will be able to see all the units from Unit 1 to Unit 12. Since I'm teaching a Basic 2 class, I'm going to work on Unit 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, we don't want our students to get confused, so it's really important to just let them work on those units we're going to use as of our courses. So I have to eliminate from this part. I'm going to eliminate Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, and 12 because we're not going to use them here. So let's do that part. Let's follow that procedure. Over here, so the idea is that we have to choose the units that we're going to work on. We don't want them to see these units as of a Basic 2 or these units. So because we're going to work on Unit 5, 6, 7, and 8, so we don't want them to see either 9, 10, 11, and 12. You should follow the same procedure with the workbook, okay? Because they already worked on that part of the workbook in Basic 1. So we have to eliminate this first 4 units and the last 4 because they are going to work on those in Basic 3, and we don't want them to get confused because they have 2 codes in the system, and if they access one of the codes and they can see the whole book, they're going to work in maybe in another key, for example BS1 something something. So the progress is going to be saved in that key, but not in this one. So we want them to just work on this code, this key. Okay, the same with the reviews, the same process with the rest of the whole options that the platform offers. And that's how we set things up. Let's just finish briefly. We have the checkpoints. So for instance, they already worked on the first one, so I don't want them to see that again. We have not worked on this checkpoint, the 146, but I don't want them to see it yet. I want him to see it until we finish unit number 6. So whenever I want to activate something, I just come back here and I click it, I check it. That way the system is going to show. Finally, while we have the games, I like them to have the games there all the time so they can practice and have fun for a while. The unit tests, same process, same thing. This is just for the setup. They have Unit 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. And finally, the tabs they're going to use. Well, I want them to see them all, to have access to all of them. So we save changes, and this is what's going to happen. They're going to be able to see just what you see on the screen. Unit 5, 6, 7, and 8. Same as, same thing for the workbook, the reviews, the checkpoints. Well, I haven't activated them, so they cannot see them. The games, they can see all of them. And finally, the tests, only 4 of them. Okay, now that is already saved, so we click on Save and Close. So the content, we can double check, and they will be able to see just what you programmed. That's it, so that means everything's okay. We're going to go back to Home, and here we're going to work on using the Gradebook. So the Gradebook is a really useful tool. I'm going to show you how I usually set things up. So we click here, and we're going to start from right to left. The first thing you're going to see is this menu, all of the parts of the book. As you can see, checkpoints, units, you see tests, fun games, you see reviews, different things. It's a little bit messy, so the idea is that we have to organize what we are going to evaluate as of this course. First thing we gotta do is go to course grade options and set things up so it's easier for us to grade. So we're gonna change the grade type from letter grades with plus and a minus to letter grades, just like that. Change grade type, we click here, and that's gonna give us these grades from A to F, being A 90%, being D 60%. Okay, so everything's there. We save. After we save, we have to work on the gradebook setup. Okay, so we go to this option, and here we're going to talk about percentages. And finally, categories and weighting. That's it. We saved. We have the option. We have the option of creating categories. You decide the categories you're going to work on. For example, a very, very important category for us would be the workbook. So we assign a percentage. You decide the percentage you want to give it. That's why we decided on categories and weighting. Yeah. So let's say the workbook is 35%. That's in my opinion, the percentage I would give to the workbook. Let's create a new category. If I click outside, you see the system shows the percentage I have left that I can use for another category. So I'm going to add a new category. That's going to be the book, the use of the book. So for the book, let's assign a 25%. 25%. So we have left 40%. So we can add more and more categories. So let's add two more. So we can use 20% and 20%. Let's talk about we could talk about reviews, we could talk about checkpoints, we could talk about tests, we could even talk about the use of the blog. Yeah, we could talk about any category you can come up with for the assessment process. So let's talk, like for this video, let's use the tests. Yeah, so tests, we assign a 20%. Don't forget, you decide like the percentage you're going to assign to this, to any category you create. All right. Finally, let's add the use of the blog. Since I'm using the blog as part of the, instead of the portfolio, yeah. So I assign a percentage to it. So let's say 20%, and that gives me a total of 100%. So I have 4 categories. Don't forget, you can create any category you want. It's up to you. We save changes, and the system shows me like everything saved in the platform. So what do? We need to classify the gradebook items. So the idea is that we go back to this part, and now our categories are created, as you can see over here. So what's the idea right now? The idea is to assign parts of the book to those categories we created. So let's start with the book. So we have the book, and as I told you before, I'm teaching a basic 2. That means I'm using units 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have to look for them over here. It says unit 5. Let's see. Oh, no, unit 4. Unit 5, free time, over here. So we click on edit here, and that gives me this option. So I have to assign a category. Since we're talking about unit 5, free time, I'm talking about the book. So I assign it to the book. There. It's already part of the book category. I save the changes, and now the system shows me that that unit is part of the book. It's part of the evaluation part of the book. Okay, and we do the same with tests, workbook, etc., etc., etc. So let's try one more. So let's talk about the workbook. Let's say workbook unit 5. So we look for it. Unit 5, workbook, unit 2, unit 4. Here it is. Workbook unit 5, free time. So here we click on edit. We assign it. to the category we created, which is Warbook, and we save the changes. Okay, there it is. It's part of the category that I created.